time, right? And those things which we know in many countries, even my country. So, so this one, I believe, it can conclude those three which I mentioned right now, even more. And the second one, which is the failed country. There's a country, how can I say that? You know, if you remember when I told you about Turkey strategic objective, they would like to improve and to implement the international laws, the international measures and standards in all national security elements to make their country strong. In failed countries, the failed countries, they are opposite to that. They are not capable even to recognize this kind of standard and measures. I give you an example, just to make it easy. I'm located in Abu Dhabi, for example, even in Dubai. So everybody knows his lane. Let me say 90%, which is very good. Not to go to the right lane or left lane, that is the otherwise will be problem. Nobody will find me. But you know that, and then you follow that. This is standards. So even social standard. It's not good to do anything wrong on the street. Very simple things. That if you are in the work, if you are in the college, so you have time, you have to respect the start time and the end time of your work. And so these are the standards. And come up and up. So it's a big three that not only the country does not implement, but it's not capable to know. They cannot accept these measures. And by the way, not only by the government, but also by the people themselves. They cannot accept it. When you try to implement this kind of measures, they refuse it. If you study Cuba, you will find that, believe me. You cannot do that. Because if he follows the standards, all his way will be broken. That he is accustomed to. So it's very, very important with this one. So regional. I called the first one of the regional national security or the regional security 3, which is regional conspiracy. A big difference, and I was talking now to my colleagues, between regional conspiracy or theory of conspiracy. Theory of conspiracy is that I'm a failed country, a failed government. I would like to convince my people that everything's okay. Countries around me, especially the big great countries, great nations, and United States, they would like to get me down. So this would be a reason to convince you that I'm right. But regional conspiracy, it happens. Even international conspiracy, it happens. But what is the difference? It's not a strategic objective. It just means in their way to do their objective. I hope you got me. We have to understand the difference in that. Because really, if we understand the difference between the theory of the conspiracy, the true conspiracy, and the strategic objective, we can understand, how can I say, the block in front of me exactly. I can recognize it. Is it enemy? Is it friendly? Should we work together? Shouldn't we work together? And what is my position? Because this works around, works here means nations. And the second trait of this one, if you can understand it here, sorry, it's planned one. This one is like reaction. Like I see a country beside me is failing, I keep calm, I don't care. No, it will get you. And you can see in Europe, just a few months ago, the problem the Greek crisis. All Europe came together to solve out the problem of Greece. Why? It will extend to them. It will hit the euro. It will hit the economy. Germany has to do a lot to support it. Why? Because they love Greece? No. It's supposed for Germany, France, UK, or any other country participate in that. Love Greece or was Greek before? No. But because he believes that if we leave the country without any reaction, this earthquake will extend to them, killing them now. In the times that you have this, you would like to continue. Right? Next, please. International. As you told me, yes, a big problem I noticed myself. International interference. sometimes it's well intended, and sometimes it's badly intended. It happens. Like, maybe it will be another lecture about race federalism. However, sometimes I would like to implement a project in your country with good intent to work together to improve. And it will be with my standards as another country. I'm going to Egypt. Egypt will do together Great Middle East, for example. Good. Great Middle East, by the way, it's going to education, it's going to children, going to the women, going to many things. And but as a planner country, I don't understand the culture of this country. I don't understand it very well. I depended on my computers, on my personal information, on my professors, but they were wrong. So it would make big problems in that country. Especially that if you are implementing a country to another country, you are implementing your plans, your thoughts in this country, don't forget as a planner country, you have your counterpart who is against you and would like to fail you that in this planning is that target or this place or this location or this other country. Am I clear? Okay. And sometimes it's intended that I have, which, is anybody aware about generations of war? Did you hear about generations? First generation, second generation, third generation, fourth generation? No?
Yeah.
No?
Generation.
Generations of wars.
Yeah.
Have you heard about them?
Yeah, about satellites.
Thank you. Okay. I will say very briefly, just maybe can help in there, maybe you like it. The four generations, there are only four generations. Don't believe in 5, 6, 7, and so on. And I tell you why. Anyway, William Lind, he is a retired colonel from the United States Army, and he was a legal, a legal advisor to some of the senators. And in the 80s, he was thinking about the three first generations. And he says that the first one, it was like, if you remember the war of, during the Napoleonic exhibition, the war of liberty of the United States. So it was linear war, just lines, fight together. First one, like, is ready, fire, move, and so on. This is a linear. And the enemy was like that, the other side was like that. So that was the first generation. It's close contact, and it was defined like very military. That was the first war that the military are using military uniform. Okay? This is the first generation like that. Second generation, when they discovered the, like, what you call it, the cannons, the big guns, the big caliber guns, okay? And they depend on them. It was indirect fire. So this linear will be destroyed. It will not be effective at all. So the indirect war with this kind of weapons, like long-range artillery or like Air Force, it moved to second generation. Third generation is like behind enemy lines, like getting you in the depth to failing you front down. That is the easier way I can say. And it depends on hitting you mentally and physically. And second world war by the German, by the way. Fourth generation is coming back even before first generation. Mixing between military and political. You cannot know who's fighting you. Second, it depends on two things. Asymmetric war, like knife in front of rocket, missile, for example. And decentralized. There is no government in front of you. It's like terrorism. Okay? And it has two kinds, two violence. Mental violence and physical violence. Physical violence by terrorists. Mental violence like Gandhi, like Martin Luther King. They talk. And when you fight them, they never fight you because he knows that your bullet will hit him. He would like to get you down, calm you down to be mental violence. He will defeat you. And there is some other things, what's the size was and how can you defeat it? It has a way to defeat it. This is what William, I listened to it, I attended his lecture actually when I was in the UK in 2004, and I liked it very much. And And second time when I was in the United States Central Command, it was 2006, the first lecture was also forward generation. It's very important, by the way. Anyway, so sometimes it's intended. And let me say, the motto of the fourth generation, quiet, slowly, let your enemy sleep, wake up, find himself dead. This is unintended interference. Next, please. Okay. So all what I have mentioned right now, especially these 8, and they are common in our region. What ended up on? Okay. The Arab Spring came to the Middle East 2011. And by the way, let me tell you, I was brigadier, and I was director of operation of military intelligence at the time. And I was responsible with my troops to secure what we call it Grand Cairo. It was east of Cairo, and it was a difficult time, to be honest, because it has stages. When I was Chief of Staff of the United Nations Nepal, I saw something like that, as if anybody sees, you will see it's planned. No, it's human behavior. It's human attitudes come one by one if you react in the wrong way. I mean, it's government. I will not talk about that anyway, it's not our thing, but I will go to the most important point, which is boundaries. This is the result. Arab Springs finished, and mashallah, terrorist groups everywhere, like replacement. This is why I'm telling you, it's not always planned. Plans are there, but what is humanitarian, human attitudes, human behaviors. I don't want to take your time because I would like to hear your lesson and your questions. So I will not talk much about that. But notice very important thing here. In Egypt, after Arab Spring, the Muslim Brotherhood and Ansar Bait al-Maqdis, Iraq and Syria, we have Jabhat al-Nusra, we have opposite forces, we have Syrian government itself, I mean the fighting forces, the governmental forces, and we have ISIS, Daesh, right? All of these groups are there. Some of them are named as terrorists, especially ISIS, as you are aware. If you go to Iraq, we have Islamic State. In Yemen, we have Houthis, and they are defeated out right now. And then we have in Somalia, if you heard about that, Mujahideen Youth in Somalia, and they declared their alliance to Daesh, by the way, to ISIS. In Libya, we have Fajr Libya, and we have the Youth Council, the Islamic Council. And Fajr Libya, by the way, this one, if you see this black one, MB Muslim Brotherhood. The red one is Salafi Jihadi. Salafi Jihadi, you know Salafi Jihadi, I'm sure. Have you heard about Salafi Jihadi? Okay. So this is a different. The red one is Salafi Jihadi. The brown one is Houthis, should be brown. And the black one is Muslim Brotherhood. So Muslim Brotherhood, they're both here in Fajr Libya and also in Egypt. Do you know what is the main difference between Muslim Brotherhood and Salafi Jihadi? The main different concept. Anybody has any idea? Okay. Muslim Brotherhood are political Islam. I mean, Islamic in Islam in policy. Political religion, they call it in the United States moderate political religious party. And they are not belonging to the governor. No. Salafi Jihadi, different. They try now, they are moving to be political, but they are very loyal to the governor. And the governor here doesn't mean the president or the king or whoever, I mean the biggest man in the country, but the man who is responsible for them. They are very loyal to them. Okay? So this is the main difference between them. One more thing. if you are following very closely in Libya and Syria, you will notice something very strange. That Muslim Brotherhood here and in Egypt, and the third one even, as I told you, the opposite forces in Syria, they are not very smart like Muslims, like Jihadi, Salafi Jihadi. The Salafi Jihadi waited for them, they finished revolutions, and they came trying to take their place, even they are hitting them right now. That's why Shura Council, Ansar al-Shura in Libya, they are fighting Fajr Libya. They are getting them out from their locations. And the same, Daesh, ISIS, is fighting, the opposite forces in Syria. Have you noticed that? And it's coming to my education, which is coming. Next, please.
If I may ask a question?
Sure.
You have mentioned in the previous slide that the whole Arab Spring was not well planned. Though if you read the books of the Freemasons, they have mentioned literally the name of the countries that have had the Arab Spring, and that was published in, I think, 1960s.
Okay. So maybe I couldn't, come to you with the right point very well. I can show you a slide right now on my computer, right now, showing what you said exactly. And it's about implementation of fourth generation with the groups who did so, like the movement, organization of movement, like Freedom House, like and so. They are written even with the name of. I didn't say they are not planned. I didn't say that. But what I said exactly, maybe I said it in the wrong way, but what I said exactly, it is, do you remember what I said? I have to talk about this for a longer time to make it clear, but I don't have time for that. I would like to get the questions. So I consider the question, I will answer it right now. Any revolution must have three parts: planner, directors, and executors. Okay? Planners who has the aim here. Stop here, please. Big difference between a revolution, which I'm talking right now, and French Revolution in 1793, for example. It succeeded with its emblems, the three objectives: equalité, liberté, I think, I'm right. So it succeeded like that. When I talk about some revolutions in some places which has a part of this kind of planning, as I told you right now. So we have the aimer, who is the planner. And it's known, and I can show it right now. I have it right here, by the way. Even I declared on my Facebook page, and one of my articles even talk about that. It was in April 2014. With all, as I told you, the websites and the organizations are doing that. The second, who are the directors, which are the youth are trained there. They are the moderates. The third are the executors. The executors are, as I told you, I saw all this myself during the field time when I was serving in Egyptian military armed forces. He is very angry. He was unhappy. Yes, he was under pressure. And when someone just pushed him like that, he started. That one, nobody talked to him, told him, I'm planning to. No. Just you push him among the demonstration and he used him very well. And he started because he was really angry. And I saw that myself, right? And I hope you can understand this difference right now. So they are there. And that's why when I said, always you find me talking about the second revolution, it was clear and needed by the Egyptian. However, I'm talking about Egypt because it's my country, actually, just to be free. But however, you can notice also another thing. The desire of the people is very important. And if you remember when I was talking to you about the international security threats, I told you that sometimes countries interfere as you don't know very well the culture of the country inside. Because sometimes we like that. I will give you example. When I was in UK, so it was managing defense in democratic society. And one of the definitions which I really learned was coup, military coup. What's the definition of military coup? As he told us, the definition of military coup is that it's a sudden armed military forces going to help the current government, replacing them with military people to rule the country. Right? It's a time that I don't want to discuss the situation, but see, if you implement that in Egypt, it wasn't sudden, it wasn't army, it wasn't by military forces, and no military replaced the prime minister or the ministers. So whatever we see, or whatever we hear something, afterwards is implemented somehow. Anyway, next one, please. Okay, no, go back. Go back. Okay, I told you that I have three indications after Arab Spring and after terrorist coup. I think they are very important. The first one, that even though if you replace the governor and you get the regime down, so the problem continues. As a message is Egypt, a message is Libya, Iraq, right? So problems still continue. So the aim shouldn't be to get the regime down back. Negotiation and discussion is very important. Second, as I told you, that Salafi Jihadi are smarter and more violent than Muslim Brotherhood, as you could exploit their success. Third point, I believe that any religious government is not very successful in this political way, from the result which I have noticed. Next, please. There is some contradiction, which I noticed myself. I maybe make them like questions for you and you can answer them to me. Number one, as you see, USA is fighting ISIS beside Iranian influence in Iraq, while it is conducting the opposite against Iranian influence in Yemen. We have to think this way, that the United States is fighting ISIS in Iraq. As I told you, it's beside the Iranian thinking or way. At the same time, in Yemen, they do opposite to Iran. So why? Second, the international community agrees on fighting ISIS in the Middle East, but not in North Africa, like not in Libya. Maybe I heard that there's some planning right now, but for a long time, why? Why is it waiting? Third, Russia started to increase its activities towards the Syrian crisis in favor of the governmental forces in cooperation with Iranian. In the time that Iran has signed its nuclear agreement with USA terms and conditions. See, again, not only the United States and Iran, but Russia and Iran. So you do something of the two each other. Sometimes together, and sometimes you also each other. Wrong. Russia is seeking to sign an energy agreement with Turkey. And failing the Syrian regime, which should be very soon, I don't know, whatever, is against Russian desire. So really, it made me confused. I don't have answers for that. Next, please. Okay. I proposed three scenarios. The first one is success, like success, you know, in Iraq, in Syria, in Yemen, stabilizing the situation, making everything as it was. Hopefully. Second, if it continues, it will be maybe limited regional war, and the cost should be clear. Maybe. Third, next please. Hope not, sure. As I told you, even we are thinking now, say, of fourth generation of war, which is not close contact. But from statements coming from Russia right now, and through interference of United States and Russia, and Syria, and Russia and Syria, really it doesn't let you feel very good. Next, please. So these points of considerations, like recommendations, my recommendations actually, that we have to work together. Arab League must be reinforce it, come stronger. It's very important. And even Arab defense, it is United Arab Defense, must come very quickly and work together as a whole. Second, please. This raising the values of the new Arab regional order in terms of national security of the region and security in general. Efforts should be made to have new Arab regional order. We have to plan for the future as Arab together. Last one, please. Okay, you remember when I told you that regional conspiracy and bad reaction to any regional threats to any other country beside you. So we have to initiate that we have to invest together with Arabian countries. We have to make collective, like Arabian market, for example. Combine Arabian market. So if we plan to work together, to have hand in hand, we will be much stronger. And then we will avoid all threats, the eight threats which I told you. Next, please. And this is the conclusion. You can say it's my day. Thank you very much, and if you have any questions. I'm sorry I took your time. I don't know how much time. I'm so sorry about my English.